All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of JT Talks LA. This is episode number 12 since the podcast launched earlier this year. So I'm very excited to do this episode, but this episode will be just me. No Johan Arun from the Horns Up podcast, no guest on this episode, but we have a lot to talk about in LA sports, whether that's the Dodgers, the Lakers, or of course, the LA Rams. So a lot of you realized that this past Sunday I did my first broadcast, so we can talk about that. That broadcast was very important to me because it's the first time I've called a football game live, and I don't want to sound arrogant when I say this, and I don't want to sound like I'm patting myself on the back because I'm certainly not, but I was really happy with how it turned out. And I'm very grateful for the people who watched the whole thing or even just tuned in for a little bit just to see, what was going on, say what's up in the chat on Assist Live. But it was really fun, and of course the Rams got the win, so that made it 10 times better. They gave us a little bit of a heart attack there at the end. Colby Parkinson with the fumble in the red zone when we thought we were kind of going to ice the game. But we ended up getting the win anyways. Rams win 14-9, and it was a good time. I was sitting right here watching the game, just calling it by myself. It was a lot of fun. It's what I love to do. So I can't thank you guys enough for the people that watched. If you're watching this podcast right now and you're a Rams fan, I stream my live commentary for the Rams every game this regular season. So please tune in and check it out. You can sync it on Assist Live. You go to ast.live and you can sync it with your TV, so you can have the Rams on your TV, and then you can have my commentary on your laptop, your phone, your tablet, whatever. And there's a button that says sync, and you can just sync it so easily. It's perfect. It's awesome. But let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about in LA sports right now. We can start out with the Rams, obviously. If you couldn't tell, kind of a big Rams fan here, if you couldn't tell with all the stuff around me. I just got this new polo, by the way. This was on eBay for $10. I'm a huge eBay guy. I know that has nothing to do with anything, but I'm a huge eBay guy, so just figured I would throw that out there. It's got the old logo on it. This is so tough. I love this logo. I really wish they would put this, like, if they had a blue and white jersey with like a blue helmet, white horns, this was like on the sleeve or something, or I don't know. I just really like this concept. So I think it's pretty cool. But anyways, Rams take down the Texans 14-9. We're 1-0 to start the season. This is a win that has a lot of people expressing different opinions, and I'm going to explain why I say that. A lot of people are just happy the Rams won, which I'm one of them. A win is a win. I don't care how much they win by. If they win, they win. I'm just as happy as if they beat any team, unless it's like the 49ers or something, because, that feels like two wins, But I'm just happy if they win. I don't care if the score was 14-9. I don't care if the score's 3-0. I don't care if it's 54-51 like that game against the Chiefs back in 2018. I don't care. If we win, we win. So I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, well, the Rams offense didn't look great. Yeah, our offense didn't look great. But if Colby Parkinson, and I'm not blaming this on Colby Parkinson, it's one mistake, it was a good hit. But at the end of the game, he doesn't fumble. We probably scored 21 points that game, which isn't, some crazy good amount, but it's not nothing. And it's okay. So I don't know what just happened there, but what I'm basically saying is I don't care what the score is. They won the game. A win is a win in the National Football League. Can wins be more impressive than other wins? Yes. But this Texans team that we played in week 1, this is a good team. Like, I think people fail to realize that this team was 10-7 last year, same record as us. They improved a little bit in the offseason. They picked up Nick Chubb, who had a solid game. This is a good team. I mean, Nico Collins, he's healthy now. I know the Rams did a very good job containing him this week, but he's healthy now. They've got a good squad. And this is a really impressive win. And I know it's week 1, but to hold the Texans offense to just 9 points without allowing a touchdown is a really, really, really good sign. And I know I sound like Captain Obvious when I say that, but there were 3 teams that didn't score a touchdown this week. It was the Titans, the Giants, who are 2 teams that are not expected to be very good, and then the Texans. Texans are supposed to be pretty good. I have them going like 12-5 this year. I'm really high on Houston. And I'm not just saying that because we beat them. I think they're going to be a very good team. I'm very high on CJ Stroud. To hold this team to 9 points and not give up a touchdown, super, super impressive. It's a great sign for this young LA Rams defense. But if we want to take a closer look into this defense, there's several players that I saw specifically that really captured my attention. Obviously, we have to talk about number 53, one of our captains on defense from the Atlanta Falcons, Nate Landman. We have to talk about him because he was everywhere. He was everywhere. I've got the highlights on right now. He's literally everywhere. Number 53 was everywhere on the field this past Sunday. He had the game-winning forced fumble at the end there. But even before that, I think people, they see that highlight and they're like, oh, Nate Landman, he must have had a good game. If you watch the game, you would know this dude didn't just have like a nice play to win the game. He had a monster game. And he actually won NFC Defensive Player of the Week in Week 1. So congratulations to Nate Landman. And look, there's a lot that the Rams do need to clean up, like bad penalties and, the false starts, the holdings, the whatever. But there's a lot of good stuff, especially from the defense, especially from Nate Landman. He was phenomenal. He had a great game. He was everywhere. He had several tackles. He was in CJ Stroud's face several times. And the best part about this is, this is probably better than if this was, Jared Verse or Kobe Turner. Because, let's be real, we didn't see too much of Jared Verse or Kobe Turner on the stat sheet this week. But to me, that's not a bad thing. Because their other offenses are very, very focused on guys like Jared Verse, the reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Guys like Kobe Turner. Guys like Byron Young, who is another guy who is all over the field and had a great game. He had a sack. The first sack of the Rams season belonged to Byron Young. He had a great game as well. But then you have these guys that teams aren't expecting as much, like Nate Landman or Tyler Davis, who had his first career sack. People aren't expecting them as much in the game plan. And then you got Nate Landman coming out here and basically winning the game for us. It's such a big thing. And he, if anybody was curious, because I was also curious about this, I completely forgot. We got him in the trade with Atlanta on draft night when we traded our first round pick. We got the Falcons' first round pick for next year, and we also got Nate Landman, who, I'm gonna say it again, was just all over the field. He was a monster on Sunday. He was the MVP of the game for sure. There were also some other guys on defense that I already kind of name dropped, but I want to go over them as well. Tyler Davis had his first career sack, so congratulations to Tyler Davis. Byron Young had the Rams' first sack of the season. He was all over the field. He was making tackles on both sides of the field. He was great. Byron Young was great. Jared Verse seemed to be getting through half the plays. Wasn't able to record a sack, but it was the same thing as last year where he's got, even if he's not being double teamed or whatever, he's all over. He's forcing pressure. He's getting to the quarterback. He's making the quarterback scramble. He's making the quarterback uncomfortable. He's getting in there, and I feel like some people say, oh, well, Jared Verse only had this amount of sacks in his rookie year, and he only did this, he only did that. If you're watching the games, like us Rams fans, and you seriously take a close look at it, Jared Verse is going to be, if not already, one of the best defensive players in football. His future is so bright, and I really, really hope that he is, and I don't want to say the next Aaron Donald because there's never going to be another Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's the best defensive player of all time. There's never going to be another Aaron Donald. But Jared Verse is going to be the next closest thing to this. He is just, even with Byron Young's sack, he was in there forcing pressure as well. And like I said, it was kind of like when we did have Aaron Donald, you have other guys having breakout seasons because they get to play with AD. Because there's 2 or 3 guys on him every play. The defense, or the offense of the other team, every single week is going to prepare, all right, number 99 in blue, white, and yellow. We need 2 or 3 guys on him every play because he will get through if we only have 1 guy on him, and he will sack the QB. Now, it's kind of the same thing with Jared Verse. Like I said, I don't love to compare anybody to Aaron Donald, but if I have to, it would be Jared Verse because not only is he also a Ram, but it's the same thing. Your game plan is to stop Jared Verse, which is why I think guys like Nate Landman, guys like Byron Young, guys like Kobe Turner are going to have breakout seasons because they're surrounded by guys like Jared Verse. Another guy I didn't mention is Braden Fisk. He also had a very good game on Sunday. So this defense looks phenomenal. I'm extremely, extremely excited to see how they play this week against the Titans, because if they can hold the Texans to 9 points, I can only imagine what they're going to do to the Titans, who have a rookie QB, which I think Cam Ward's going to be good, but he does not have the team around him. He doesn't have the team around him like Jaden Daniels had his rookie year, or CJ Stroud had his rookie year. The Titans have nothing to offer. And I really hope me saying that doesn't come back to bite me and the Titans somehow beat us this Sunday. But the Titans are not a team that Cam Ward is going to be able to do anything in his rookie year with. He's not. He's not going to be able to do anything with that team. So if this defense can play like they did in week 1, the Titans might not score. The Titans are going to be in a lot of trouble when Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Byron Young and Nate Landman and Kobe Turner and Kobe Durant, who had a phenomenal interception in week 1, all these guys come to town. Tyler Davis, Akello Witherspoon, Forbes Jr., Cameron Curl. Cameron Curl had a very nice game. He was all over the field as well. There's so many guys. Omar Spates. There's so many guys that you could point out in week 1 or just overall in this defense. Quentin Lake's another one. I'm just thinking of these guys. Puna Ford off the top of my head. But these guys are going to contribute to a team that I think can genuinely win a Super Bowl. I really do. I really think this team can win a Super Bowl. And I'm really excited to see if this defense can, I don't want to say carry them to that, because I'm not going to give up on the offense yet. The offense didn't look great in week 1, but the defense was the main focus of week 1. And I think it could be of week 2 as well. So, but speaking of the Rams offense, Matthew Stafford, he had a solid game. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and complain. The dude, had to get to training camp late because of his back problems. Didn't play at all in the preseason. And I don't expect him to go out there in week 1 and throw for 400 yards and the Rams score 40-something points. He's also, 37 years old? And he, like I said, got to training camp late because of his back problems. Didn't play at all, not a single snap in the preseason. He normally doesn't, but he didn't again this year. This is the first football he's played since we lost to Philly in January. This is the first football he's played since then, and that's coming off of an injury as well. So I don't expect the Rams offense to go out there and drop 40 or 50 points. They scored enough to get the win. I'm fine with that. It's week 1. It is, for some of these guys, I don't want to say it's preseason because it counts, but I was saying this during my broadcast, this is kind of their version of preseason because they haven't played. Like, we had Stetson Bennett out there in preseason. What's his name? Wynn, the other QB. We had him out there as well. I mean, we don't really, these starters nowadays on pretty much any team, they don't really get a preseason. So I'm very happy with how things turned out this Sunday. Rams got a great win. Puka looked great. One thing I will mention, Davante Adams not looking phenomenal, but you also have to keep in mind this is first game on the Rams, first game in a new system, but he is a veteran wide receiver. I expected better out of him, but it is one game. Didn't have a great game, had a couple of drops, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, Cooper Kupp could have done this, Cooper Kupp could have done that. Is that true? Maybe. And me as a, Cooper Kupp's #1 fan, I'm not going to sit here and act like I wouldn't rather have Cooper Kupp than Davante Adams. But Davante Adams is a great player. He's going to match really well with Puka Nacua. The one thing I would like to see more of is Tutu Atwell. He got one reception. I think that was his only target of the game. And someone else who I'd like to see more of is Tyler Higbee, because we used our first pick of this draft on Terrence Ferguson, a tight end out of Oregon, who I was very excited to see how they match him with Tyler Higbee and Colby Parkinson and how they do that whole tight end group. How are they gonna share or split up the reps and the downs that these guys are going to be out there for? Funny enough, the only guy to receive a touchdown was none of those guys. So it's kind of funny. It was Allen to get the Davis Allen to get the touchdown for the Rams, and it wasn't Colby Parkinson, it wasn't Tyler Higbee, and it wasn't Terrence Ferguson because he did not play at all in week 1, which I was really not too happy about. I like I said, it's week 1. I don't want to critique too much, but you have a stud who you've I want to kind of say they've been hyping him up. You clearly went out of your way to trade back and get this specific player for a reason. Why is he not out there? Like, why is he not out there? I hope that they mix in Higbee and Ferguson more in week 2. That's something this offense could use because I feel like they just don't use the tight end enough. And, of course, I'm saying that as our only receiving touchdown was from a tight end in week 1. But I feel like I've been saying this for years. The Rams don't use the tight end position enough. Tyler Higbee's a very good player. He's a top 10 tight end in the league. Terrence Ferguson has a ridiculously high upside. I'm really high on him. I just think he just needs to, actually sniff the field. Colby Parkinson, when we signed him, I wasn't a huge fan of the contract. I thought he was a bit overpaid. And I'm not saying that because he fumbled once this week. I'm not a Colby Parkinson hater. I hope he proves me wrong, but I was a little confused with that signing 2 off seasons ago. But at the end of the day, they got the win. It was only 14 points, but they got the win, so that's what matters. But the Rams will now focus their attention to Tennessee, as we here on JT Talks LA will focus our attention to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers have now won 3 in a row. We are 2 games ahead of San Diego in the National League West. We are the 3 seed. If I were to sit here and say that I am not worried about the Dodgers, I'd be lying to your face. I would be. I'd be lying to your face. I am so worried about this team and their chances to repeat as World Series champions. Last year, we were the 1 seed in the National League, ended up winning 98 games. Didn't run away with the division, but won it by a few games, a little bit more of a comfortable lead than this year. Right now, as I record this, we are 2 games ahead of San Diego, and we are looking to take Game 3 of the series against Colorado tonight. We've won 3 in a row. The last game we lost, I was there on Saturday. I was there. I took a trip with my parents to Baltimore to see Dodgers-Orioles on Saturday night. Yoshinobu Yamamoto no-hit through 8 2/3. And I kid you not, as I am thinking, in my head, I'm kind of impressed. No Orioles fans have yelled, "Oh, there's a no-hitter," because you don't say that, it's the jinx or whatever, right? Some girl behind me goes, "Oh, I'm so stressed out with this whole no-hitter thing," and I'm like, I look at my mom, like, she better not have just ruined this. 2 pitches later, Jackson Holliday home run, no-hitter's gone. If the game ended there, I would have gone home upset. I really would have. I would have gone home upset because the Dodgers would have won the game, but the no-hitter's gone. Fun fact, the first baseball game I ever went to was actually a no-hitter. It was Josh Beckett's no-hitter in 2014 against the Phillies. The Dodgers won the game 6-0. That was my first ever baseball game I ever went to. For those wondering why I'm going to all these East Coast games, I do live in New Jersey. I'm actually not from LA, so it's kind of a coincidence that all my favorite teams are from LA. But anyways, I was really disappointed he didn't get the no-hitter. They had to take him out, I understand that. But then the bullpen comes in, and they don't get a single out. They didn't get an out. How'd you not get 1 out? There were already 2 outs in the inning. Nobody on. We're up 2 runs. We don't get an out. Blake Trinan comes in. Don't know what happened there. And then, of course, it's 3-2 now. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Tanner Scott comes in. And as soon as I see him jogging from center field, I'm like, oh, we're going to lose this game, aren't we? And I'm not a Tanner Scott hater like the rest of you are. But I was not confident. I will say that. And look, I don't want to be the fan that puts players down, even though I kind of am. But I'm trying to be more of a fan that, instead of putting our players down, lifts them up. Because if somehow, some way, let's see, Tanner Scott was like, oh, a Dodgers podcast, let's watch this. And I'm sitting here going, Tanner Scott sucks, get him off the team. That's not going to motivate these players to play better for our city, I feel that if I was Tanner Scott or I was Michael Conforto or I was Kirby Yates, I wouldn't want to see all this stuff of Dodger fans hating on me and wishing that I wasn't a Dodger. I'd want them encouraging me to play better. So to Tanner Scott, to Michael Conforto, to Kirby Yates, to anybody currently struggling on the Dodgers, to Mookie Betts, who's had not his best season, let's try to lift these guys up. Because we're trying to win a World Series. We're not trying to tell these guys they suck so they go out there and we can be frustrated with them and then nothing good happens from it. let's try to not go online and trash talk these guys as much as we can. Have I done it? Yes, I have. I will admit it. But I have some sneaky feeling that some of these guys, one of these guys, is going to end up coming clutch in October if we go anywhere. We are probably going to play in the wild card round. We're probably going to play the Mets. I'm terrified of a best-of-3 series because I feel like the Dodgers have won like 2 best-of-3 series in like 2 months. I feel like we haven't won a series in forever, it feels like. We're finally winning this series. We took the series against Colorado, but does that really count? Does that really count? But jokes aside, I feel like we haven't won a series in forever. We lost to Baltimore. We lost to San Diego in San Diego a few weeks ago. It feels like we haven't won a series in forever, but hopefully they get on a little bit of a run here. Mookie Betts starting to heat up. He had a homer last night. Teo had 2. Shohei had 2 on Sunday against Baltimore when we avoided the sweep. So it'll all be okay, I hope. Right now, we're a few games behind the Phillies for the 2 seed. I don't think we're going to catch them. I think our main focus is more on can we hold the lead for the division? Because if we don't win the division, I don't want to say there's no chance this team wins a World Series, but I don't feel confident as the 5 or 6 seed going into October. I don't even feel confident going in as the 3 seed, I'll be honest. But they have to win the division and I don't mean to state the obvious once again, but they have to win the division if they want a chance at winning a World Series. That's obvious. So the Brewers are, let's be real, they're scary. They're a scary good team. The Phillies are going to be a good team. I think their bullpen is their biggest weakness, but they just went out and traded for a closer at the deadline. They're looking good. The Mets and they proved it last year. They didn't win their division last year, and they were against us in the NLCS. They're a team to look out for in October. The Cubs, they're a good team to look out for in October. There are several teams, and obviously, as much as we hate to admit it, San Diego, they're another team we have to look out for in October. This is going to be a very, very, very interesting October, and I'm excited for it. So that's it for this episode on JT Talks LA. I hope you guys enjoyed my Rams and Dodgers recap of what's been going on with them recently. No Lakers this episode just because there really hasn't been much going on. I wish I could talk more about the Lakers, but they haven't really done anything since signing DeAndre Ayton. Nothing's really been happening in the NBA altogether, but the NBA is only about a month away. So once the basketball season kicks off, we will be talking plenty about the Lakers. And once we get to like November, it'll be mostly Rams and Lakers, but we'll be throwing the Dodgers in there a little bit. Hopefully after they repeat as World Series champions, we don't know. But for right now, it's mainly Rams and Dodgers with a little bit of Lakers thrown in there. So I'm really excited for Lakers season next month. I'm excited for the postseason for the Dodgers, and I'm excited to see where this Rams team can go. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.